So welcome to the May 14th Conservation Commission meeting. We'll now start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I even dug out a little flag earlier, and now I don't know where I put it. I was going to do the flag thing. Sue, why don't we go to roll call?
Okay. Patrick Reynolds.
Present.
David Bell.
Here.
Sam Kenny.
Here.
Melissa Sharples.
Here.
Ellen Snyder.
Here.
Ellen?
Here. Here. Sorry, I was muted.
Did I miss anyone?
Is Chris
Okay.
here? So
Chris is not
Blackstone,
here.
not here? Okay. I wonder if she's having trouble signing in because I didn't hear that she wasn't coming. Okay. I'm assuming we didn't have any members of the public that tried to log in tonight to make any public comments. Okay. Why don't we then proceed to, we have approval for minutes from both March 12th, 2020 meeting, and Sue, you said we also have from the February meeting, is that right?
The March 24th meeting that we did virtually.
Oh, the March 24th meeting, the meeting to approve the expenditure of funds, is that right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Did everyone get a chance, or does anyone have any comments on those minutes? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion to approve the minutes from March 12th to start with, 2020.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Patrick, I say aye.
Aye.
Melissa. Aye.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-0-0.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to approval for minutes from the March 24th meeting. Just as a reminder, this was a meeting we had to approve funds that we had to use for the Tucker property purchase. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Well, second.
All in favor? Patrick? Oh, aye.
Aye. Hi, Stu, this is Sam Kenny. Sorry, I thought we were voting first on the March 24th minutes for some reason. I have to amend my March 12th vote to abstain,
Okay.
as I was not present at March 12th.
Okay. Got that. Sorry, Sam. Okay. So it's okay for you to have seconded them, though. Hoping. Okay, so Patrick moved, Melissa seconded, and now the vote for the March 24th. David, do your
Patrick.
fingers up? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Melissa?
Aye.
Okay. 4-0-0. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Patrick,
Yes.
this is Ellen. Chris said she couldn't get into the meeting. I missed the earlier part. I was having a hard time too. I'm not quite sure if other people are, or she can't seem to get in.
I was having a hard time too. She might want to try again. Is she
You can
on
either
email
try
with-
again, Ellen, or you could give her the phone number that I'm using, which is 1-877-309-2073.
Then there's a code, right?
Yeah, and the code is 998-740-181.
It should be in the email that Wendy sent out to
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, the Go
We
Meeting
can-
login was a little unclear.
Yeah, there wasn't great directions on that. It worked pretty well on the 24th, so I kind of just assumed it was going to work that well, but I think it was easier because I think Steve was there to start it last time. But let's give Chris a moment to see if she can get on, because it would be good to have her on.
How do you get the volume up higher on the mine? Volume up a little higher. Somebody else is trying to get back on again, so. Oh, okay.
Did someone get through?
That's better.
I think I see someone here in the lower left. There she is. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
She's muted.
Chris, can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Got it. Oops, just a minute.
How's that?
Oh,
I was
there she is.
doing it. This is my first go-to-meeting one. I'm used to the Zoom, how you click on Zoom. Thank you for being patient.
No problem. We're glad to have you here. Okay. Well, we had approved the minutes, so hopefully that wasn't something that you needed to be attending on.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report, but I did not receive anything from the town. I did follow up with them on Wednesday, but I wasn't able to reach anybody with finance department. I don't believe that Sarah is here from the planning board or Casey from town council. Is that correct? Yeah, they're not here. So that clears us all the way down to item 7. So the first thing I want to do is recognize Marianne, who served on the Conservation Commission for, I want to say 5 years. Does that sound right, Sue?
Not at least that, maybe 4.
Yeah, maybe 4. She most recently served as vice chair. She volunteered on several different things, including the wonderful photo exhibition that you guys put together. And I just want to thank her for being involved with the Conservation Commission and her service. We will miss her and appreciate her time on the commission. The next thing I want to do is share the good news that the Tucker Neal Mill Road transaction is now complete. As far as the purchasing of the property, we still have one step to complete in turning in a grant to the Great Bay Foundation, I believe it is. Might be wrong about that exact name, but they will give it a rebate on some of the funds that we spent of approximately $5,000. So we spent $100,000 on this purchase. Property is approximately 16 acres and adjoins existing conservation land that is owned both by the town of Newmarket and by the Southeast Land Trust. Southeast Land Trust will be the first on the deed, and the town of Newmarket would be the second on the deed. So if SELF was to dissolve as an organization, the deed on the property would revert to the town of Newmarket. But for those of you that were here to see this all the way through, it's really the best situation for us in that we get to all the benefits of the conserved land, and we're getting a lot of feedback. Someone want to try muting? Still hearing it. Is that better? Okay. Can everyone still hear? Okay.
I can.
Yep. Okay. So I'm just reading off my notes here. So again, CELT will do all the monitoring and all the reporting, but this property will enhance people's in Newmarket's ability to access this area. You know, this is the conservation land that's at the end of Neal Mill Road, and so it's adjoining a lot of different existing conservation land owned by the town of Newmarket, land owned by Southeast Land Trust, land owned by the town of Newfields. So it really, it is a great collaboration between lots of different organizations, and just enhances what is already a great area to go hike. You can go mountain biking there. I know it's very popular in the wintertime, skiing and snowmobiling. And I know that it's just a very popular place. So I think this will help. Long term, we do hope perhaps to be able to increase the amount of parking there is. Currently, the parking situation is park along the side of the road there. There is some hope that we might be able to put in a small parking lot there with a map of the area. Some of the other access points do have that, and it would be nice to have that. So I have talked to CELT about that, and they thought that was something they could work with us on. So that could be something we do in the future. I just wanted to share that Valerie Shelton, who represented the owner on this transaction, really appreciated everybody's work, and she just wanted to share that the original owner, of course, was Don Tucker, who was on the Conservation Commission, and he had always wanted this land to be set aside for conservation land. And unfortunately, Don did pass away before that could happen, but his children carried forth that vision for this property, and really were very patient, as this transaction took over a year to complete in terms of getting all the funding. And Dwayne Hyde from Southeast Land Trust did all of that work for us. He submitted all the grants to NRCS and all the other entities that were involved. So again, thanks to Dwayne Hyde for all of his work on this. Thanks to Valerie Shelton for all of her work. And of course, also thanks to the Tucker family for seeing this through. It was a long journey for them, and I really appreciate their patience. And I was glad that we were able to get this across the finish line in April, which is what we had to do. And also I want to thank Bill Tappan from the town finance department who helped expedite things when we got to a critical point and we needed to get the funding ASAP. Steve Fournier and the town council also were very helpful. So this was really a collaborative effort. And I don't believe Drew is on the call tonight, but Drew Kiefaber was also involved at the beginning of this. And great job by everybody. And I've already been out there. NRCS has already put up their signs delineating the boundaries of the property. And so again, if you were to go down to the end of Neal Mill Road ends at a gate, and you park on the side of the road there, it's to your right if you're looking towards the gate. And it's a mixture of uplands, and there's also a lot of frontage on a primary stream that feeds into the Piscassic River, and there's a lot of beaver dams back there. It's a great place for looking for birds, and you can connect to some other existing trails out there. There's no trails on the property per se, and I don't know that they're going to put anything there, but it does abut an existing trail that will take you down by the beaver pond. I think that's all I had on that, but I'm sure I'm missing thanking somebody. But again, it was really a great group effort. All right. Just looking over here for other items. The Shopmeyer Park Committee provided report that they are getting some funding for some kayak racks and some, I'm not sure if I know how to describe these exactly correctly, but down at the dock, it would be a system that would help you to get from the dock into your kayak. So I guess the Lamprey River Advisory Mission, is that right, committee? I'm looking at Chris to give me the exact, LRAC had the funding for this. And so the Shopmeyer Park Committee, led by Richie Shelton, approached them, and they said that they would be interested in funding some of that. So it sounds like that's going forward, and that at some point during the next few months, we might expect those kayak racks to show up there, which would be great.
Patrick, can I say one thing about the kayak racks? That with the
Yep.
Lamprey River Advisory Council, that was with advice and input from the UNH Adaptive Outdoor Group, Adaptive Technologies Outdoor Group. So it's assistive technology. Anybody can use it, but it really came from the adaptive group for physical differentialities to help people get outdoors and in kayaks.
Oh, great. Thanks, Chris, for
Sure.
explaining that. Okay. Those were the primary things that I had under Chairman's report that were sort of new developments. The only bit of mail that I had was something that I think will be a great resource. And I don't know if some of you might have already seen this because of your own professional careers, but DES has created a booklet. It's called Wetlands Best Management Practice Techniques for Avoidance and Minimization. And this came with just a letter saying it's the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services values the critical work conservation commissions and local communities play in protecting aquatic resources while balancing business interests and economic development. As a result of key stakeholder input, including the Conservation Commission's work by the NHDES staff and an EPA wetland program development grant, we are pleased to share the enclosed wetlands best management practice techniques. So I think the idea here is that this would be a resource for us. The idea is it provides examples of acceptable and permitted project designs and practices that could be used by applicants. So it's I think a tool to help us and applicants understand the process better, improve consistency, facilitate permits being granted, but also us understanding what our responsibilities are under our section. So I don't know if any of you had heard about that. Does anyone else? Alan, is that something you had heard about or seen? I think it would be great if I could.
No. I wonder, is it available online? Do they have a web link on it?
I will reply off my last email just to send. Yes, they do indicate there's a link here. So I will put the full title of it in the body of the email that I send out to everybody, and I'll see if I can get a link, because it certainly looks like they intend for it to be a link.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really hoping that, yeah, this will make the process a little bit easier. So that was the only, we have no pending permits right now. And I don't know if that's just because nobody's pursuing that work right now, or if DES is, I don't know if there's any change in their business right now, what they're doing. I haven't heard that. They haven't reported out that to anybody as far as I know. I'm assuming people can still submit permits. Is that correct, Sam?
Yeah, for the most part, they're working remote. Some people still are showing up at the Hazen Drive ones, but they've closed both the Concord and the Portsmouth offices to the public. They are still accepting all permits, but still holding people to the full review times.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that will be a challenge if we have someone trying to present an application at a meeting. That could be interesting if we get to that point. I think we'll need a lot more advance notice than sometimes what we get, so that we could perhaps figure out a way to share those documents at the meeting so that everybody could see them, or share them before the meeting, and then people would have to try and, come prepared. But I didn't receive anything for this meeting. All right, so under other items, I called a couple of fence companies, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them about putting up some temporary fencing at Shanda Park. Since all the events so far that we had scheduled there have been canceled, I've been a little less anxious about a large assembly of public people. So for instance, the first event that's been canceled that would have been coming up is the Great Bay Half Marathon. That's officially been canceled at this point. At first it was postponed, and now it's been canceled. I have not heard from the Recreation Department, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that they may not be holding their concerts there this year. I haven't heard anything. But I'll still follow up and see. What I'd like to do is have a couple of bids at least that we could review for installing more fencing, so that if there is any kind of group assembly or groups there, there's a better barrier to protect people. I have no update on the Clark Farm easement. I'm assuming it's still going forward. I'm hoping they got LCHIP funding, but I haven't heard any update as far as their request to the town. I think and the last thing I have on here was just our discussion about Heron Point sign. Any update on that, Ellen?
So I had gone out there and reflagged a couple, or flagged a couple potential reroutes and some additional trail routes toward the eastern side. And I talked to Drew at the time, and he went out and we did a walkabout. This was way back before COVID, which was like 5 years ago, right? So, so this was like in March. So right then, everything kind of went haywire. So we haven't been back out. I sort of haven't been thinking about it, but I'm still doing quite a bit of work in Durham, field work. So I feel like I could go back out there, no problem. And even if Drew wanted to go back out and we could, stay 10 feet apart, which is totally doable. So long story short is I think we could revisit this now, and before making the map, we kind of need to finalize the trails. That was sort of the two-step process. So we haven't quite finalized the trails. So I'd like to get in touch with Drew, have another look at what we were thinking about for a reroute, come up with a new draft trail plan, if Drew thinks it looks good, and present that to the group. And then we can go from there.
Okay.
We still were trying to sort out that eastern leg that goes over to the Heron Point community. And I know we want to do some title work, and COVID just doesn't allow the town to put any time into that. So I think we can move ahead without that. I think the idea was to downplay that as a route, and just say it connects to a private community for now. So I think we could still go ahead with the trail, come up with the trails we want, and then do the map with whatever we want to talk about in terms of Heron Point. So maybe I could shoot for the next meeting that we might have a new draft.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I have been to a couple different properties. I've been to Picasso Floydzel. I've been out at the Neal Mill area. I've been at Wigan Farm, and I think that's it. And I have not seen any issues around too many people or any problem social distancing at the times I've been there. Now, it's probably helped that the weather's been a little on the cool side, a little bit on, not greatly favorable to being outdoors so far, but I do believe, I don't know this for a fact, but I do believe that the reason there's no parking at the Rockingham station area to access the Rockingham Trail is because that was getting very crowded. I don't know. I just know that currently if you go down there, it's not conservation property, so I feel like it's not for me to be involved in, but I did see that they've got no parking signs around that entire area. So I'm guessing that that might be related to it just got too crowded there. I don't know if anyone has heard anything else, but
From what I've seen, they are doing a little bit of construction work down there. I think they've clear cut a little bit more at the trailhead. I've seen some equipment down the front end, loaders or whatever it is. So I don't know if they're maybe building a lot or if that's related to whoever's going in at the station there, that little building. I don't know what's going in there.
yeah. Well, the no parking signs are all on
the street.
Ash Swamp.
Yeah.
So if you would try and just park and walk down to the trail, you couldn't do that right now. And
Yeah, I
they're
think it's
also on.
I think it's a safety issue on Ash Swamp. The same thing's happening on lots of trailheads throughout our region. So just overcrowding.
So there are still places to go, like I said. Remember, you can, for Picasso Boiselle, you can either park at the parking lot that's designated for that, or there's also Audubon property up the road where you could park. So there's a couple of different parking areas. If you feel the parking area is too crowded, I would always advise people to drive up to the other one and see if there's more space up there. Okay, so I did get Melissa's letter extending for her new term. So thank you, Melissa, for agreeing to serve another term on the Conservation Commission. I don't know if you did you get a copy of that letter as well?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll forward you the copy I received. So
Okay. Thank you.
that has been approved. I don't know. Normally, I think you're supposed to go and swear in, but I don't know how they're doing that.
Yeah, we did
Right.
actually yesterday.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Terry met me in the parking lot.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Before
I
we
have a
go
question.
on, sure.
Patrick?
Yes.
Do you know if the turtle signs have gone up? I haven't been down Ash Swamp.
The turtle signs have gone up. Thank you. Melissa reminded me to remind Public Works to put the turtle signs up. So the turtle signs are up. We did talk about, Melissa and I, whether we should add a sign. So she pointed out that, what road is that on now, Melissa? Was that on Dame Road?
Dame Road, yeah. There's a pond
Dame?
down on Dame Road, so.
So when they put in a new subdivision off of Dame Road, which some people might remember, what's the name of that? It's something.
Boulder Brook.
Boulder Brook, that's it. They put in a pond for drainage, and that pond apparently is a very attractive place for turtles. And there is one turtle crossing sign going towards 108 on Dame Road, I would say about 100 yards down maybe, or something, maybe a little bit more. But we were thinking maybe another turtle sign above that, where that pond is, so further away from 108, just to kind of warn people that they should expect turtles. I don't know that we've seen any of the blandings or box turtles in that area, but certainly snapping turtles are around there.
Yeah, well, the snapping turtles are at the pond that was existing before the development went in. So that's further down toward 108.
Okay.
So if you're heading in toward the development, it's before you even come around the corner to see it. And that's where the Public Works put the signs, which was right. So one of them is closer to the new development, which is
Okay.
good. But that pond there has a couple of snapping turtles that nest quite literally on the road.
Yep.
So
They like they like all that sand that
yeah,
gets put there. That's what turtles look for. I mean, that's why they are always along the roadside, apparently. Okay. So, did anyone else have anything else before we go on to election of officers? Nothing? Okay. All right. So, I believe this is the correct meeting to be doing this. Is that right, Sue? I'm going to always defer to Sue Frick on this. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And all terms of office are for 1 calendar year?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And we have 3 officers. We have a chairman, a vice chairman, and a treasurer.
Yes.
Okay. I always like to make sure, because Sue is our, if I mess up, I know Sue will catch it. Okay. So
Rewrite your motion.
We have both of those, treasurer and vice chairman. We have nobody serving in either of those positions. Marianne was our last vice chairman. She's left. We have not had a treasurer in over a year, I want to say. So we're in desperate need of a treasurer. So is there anyone who would be interested in serving as the treasurer?
Sam?
I mean, I'll do it if no one else will. I have a 1.5-year-old and we're about to have another one, and I'm just not really looking to take on more things right now. But
Patrick, what does it entail? Is it just getting a report from the town?
That is exactly what it entails. So you get the report, although we have not, I will be honest, it has been not great, getting the reports, but they've had a lot of software issues is what they've told me. At that point, you would just report on expenditures and income. So usually there's about 8 sheets on the treasurer's report detailing, what are the balances. There are, I think, about 4 accounts that are currently listed on there. So there's the Conservation Fund, there's the Shopmeyer Park Fund, there is a small amount under the Shanda Park Fund, and maybe that's it. Maybe there's only 3. And obviously, whenever we get a change of use in the town, so that usually means vacant land now has a house sitting on it that's been sold, that money income comes in. So those are basically the only things that the treasurer has to do is report those things. And then it would be nice if they can point out anything that obviously they see that doesn't look right. Mm-hmm. So there are a set of eyes on it.
I can do it. I don't know if I can do it as an alternate.
I'm not sure you can do it as an alternate. Do we have any vacancies currently? Yeah, we do, right? Because
we have Marianne's vacancy.
So.
And we also have the planning board and the town council vacancies, but the planning board is the only one.
Yeah. So, yes, there's.
I also thought of one more job that you would have as treasurer, and the other job is that sometimes we get checks in for things that you then have to take to finances and have deposited, or that you need to do a check order form for something, like a bill for conservation, New Hampshire State conservation things and stuff like that. So turn receipts
Yeah, that sounds fine, or finding a way for it to be automated would be good too, but happy to work on that if I can do it.
So does that mean you're willing to serve as a full member then, Ellen?
Sure, it's not
Okay. I'm
Nice.
thinking that we would, I think we'd have to have you go ahead. Can we appoint her as an alternate to the commission, Sue?
You could do it, no, well,
Like
she's
a
already
flag.
an
Yeah.
alternate.
She's
As a
already an
full
alternate.
member, we have to, the town
Still have to
council
apply
has
to
to,
town council. Okay.
they get the
yeah,
form and then the town council approves. And then, but we could appoint her this evening as a temporary treasurer.
acting treasurer. Okay, so
Yeah.
Like,
I will make a motion that we appoint Ellen Snyder as our acting treasurer. So does anyone have that's my motion.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
We have one. Melissa is the only one we can't see.
Aye.
Melissa is
Okay.
aye.
Great.
Melissa's aye.
Thank you, Ellen. We really appreciate your help.
Hmm.
Sure, I like to know where the money is.
Well, thanks for going
Yeah.
on through the town council to be a full member, Ellen, too.
Yeah, that'll be my
Yeah,
third
thank
form
you.
in 4 months. No, that's okay.
All right. So then we have the positions of chairman and vice chairman. I'm certainly willing to continue to serve as chairman. We would also be nice if we could have someone who would be willing to be vice chairman.
Patrick, do we need to make a motion? I'll make a motion to re-nominate you, or that we vote on you to do another term as chairman. Can we do
Okay,
that
thank
first?
you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Melissa's an aye.
Melissa's an aye.
all right.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Now, do we have someone who's willing to step in as vice chairman? Or chairperson or chair commissioner? I'm sorry, didn't do a good job of phrasing that. Melissa, can I nominate you?
What's involved?
Well, potentially, if I was to not be available, you then become the chairman for a meeting or a period of time or whatever the circumstances. That's the primary responsibility, I would say.
Okay, unless Chris wants to.
I would nominate Melissa. My concern is that I am also on the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions. And when I took that board position, the chair, who's from Chichester, said, don't worry about your Thursday Newmarket. My town is also the same Thursday as yours. We're going to change our meeting. We won't be meeting monthly on this particular Thursday. I said, great, then I can do it. In the meantime, he had 2 other people on his Chichester board who needed to move the date, who needed to move the date. No, it's backwards. They did not move the date. So the state commission meets this same time every other month. So I know right off the bat that I would have a conflict and have to miss the state or this one every other month. So that said, if you want to hedge your bet and say, crystal ball, when is Patrick going to be absent? That's one thing. But really and truly knowing from the outset, here's this calendar and here's the schedule with the State Association of Conservation Commissions, I should probably say no and say yippee for Melissa, actually. But I'm perfectly willing to do everything and do things and miss that meeting sometimes for this meeting. But really and truly, it's kind of odd to know I'm double booking something that would affect some months. And then we're in a real jam if it happens to overlap when Patrick would be doing something for business or, knock on wood, not be able to attend for some other reason. So
Okay.
there's my whole story. So I'll second the Melissa motion.
Oh, you made the
Okay.
primary motion.
Oh, I made the primary. Oh, I thought that was Patrick again. Okay.
I didn't know. I
Oh.
think I pressured her. I think I pressured her. But
Okay,
I said-
Oh. All right,
Anyway,
so Patrick, you nominated her. Chris,
I nominated.
you second. And
There you
all
go.
in favor? Lovely hand. 1, 2, 3, and Melissa?
Okay. Aye.
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 Aye. Hey, aye, 0500. Okay.
So that covers all the items that we had on the agenda. Is there anything else before we adjourn that anyone wants to share, or any other?
It's a small tidbit, but we will know shortly past June 5th, within a day or two of June 5th, if the state association is indeed going to cancel the annual meeting, which is in November, or not. I can tell you that the subcommittee for that conference is recommending to cancel for 2020, but that vote has to be the full board, and their meeting is the 5th of June. So for now, you can, I don't want to say it's safe to assume because you don't know how boards vote, but the recommendation is it's canceled, not postponed, which is unfortunate because this should be the 50th anniversary. But we're busy saying, look, if they can postpone the Tokyo Olympics, we can certainly, with the idea of health in mind, postpone the 50th anniversary of the State Conservation Association. So that's my tidbit from them.
Thank you.
Sure.
Congratulations to Sam too. I heard you say.
Yeah.
Second child. So congratulations, Sam.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Call your mom.
I just saw her yesterday. I'm in the clear.
Okay.
All right. And that's it then. I will make a motion that we adjourn at 7:58.
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Melissa's aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Take care, everybody.
0.
Thank you.
Be
Nice
well.
to see you
This
all. Thank
conference is
you.
no longer being recorded.
Bye, guys.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.